let's start off with what happened in Morocco. It was Zanaco locking horns with Wydad Casablanca in a probably winner-takes-all contest. Now, let's look at the permutation. Going into that game, for Zanaco, they needed minimum a point, maximum a win to confirm qualification to the next round of the Champions League, whilst for Wydad Casablanca, they just wanted to win and ensure that they qualified. Zanaco, of course, wanted to prevent defeat because then their fate would lie in the hands of Cotton Sport Garua, who should, for the first time, not be beaten in that game when they took on El Ali in Egypt. Let's have a look at the two selections made by the two coaches, shall we? So it was Wydad Casablanca in the orange on the screen versus Zanaco in the red. Now, for Numba Mamba, he went 4-4-2 in this game. And for Wydad Casablanca, they played an attacking 4-3-3 with two attacking midfielders. First question, Kawamba, is that when you look at that Zanaco selection, Numba Mamba actually went for Boyd Msonda and Richard Kasonde. Many people perceive them to be defensive midfielders, and because of that, was that supposed to be a double anchorman system?
Well, looking at Zanaco, since they were playing away from home, and they really needed to qualify for the quarterfinals, I think that was a real good formation which Numba employed. Why? Because for them, a draw or a win was going to be a better result for Zanaco. But it never went according to what Numba had put it.
Okay, so let's now begin to discuss the tactical intricacies of that game. So Zanaco were pressing high in the opening stages of that game. Let's just have a look at Zanaco's high press in this game. Dennis, now look at this. Wydad Casablanca probably playing the same style at home and away from home. You have their back four there who open up, make the pitch big. But here's what was happening. Unlike the first game, Zanaco were allowing them to move a little bit forward up the pitch before they could actually attack them. In this game, high press. Said Sakala is there and almost cancelling out the left-right options. And Felix Nyainde the same. And Boyd Msonda is actually coming in the hole. Question now. You press high like that against a team that needs to win. You're looking for a draw. Did you agree with the pressing mechanism?
I think I agree with what Numba went for, but it just didn't work because I thought, looking at Seth and Felix Nyainde, they're all attack-minded players. Augustine and
Ernest Mbeo.
Ernest, yeah, they are all wide players. In the midfield, Msonda and Jemba. Jemba is a holding midfielder. Msonda likes moving forward. So I thought, I was looking at that, I thought, are they defending or they want to attack? But that was just an open game.
Now, I'm actually asking that. You go into North Africa looking for a draw. Yes, the personnel suggests that Numba is being cautious about the whole thing, the whole engagement. But to what extent, just bringing in the point that Dennis brings in, to what extent could Zanaco rely on the wing play prowess of Augustine Mlenga and Ernest Mbewe to actually provide them with that thrust? And was Boyd Msonda the man to actually offer the creativity in the central areas? Because the game tactic began to show that.
I thought Boyd was going to provide what the coach wanted, but it didn't happen. You know, sometimes as a coach, I'm a coach. Sometimes this is what I want from my play. I will tell him, okay, this is what you want to do. For example, Felix Nyainde. I saw numbers line up, I think around 18 before the game. It was like Nyainde was supposed to be playing like a second striker, joining. But they were always they were square. They were like this. They were
Okay,
like a
now
twin.
talking about that, central midfield square. You've got Seth Sakala and Nyainde almost standing square up top. Did you agree? Now the creativity should come from Ernest and Augustine. At that point, what were your feelings about that?
On Numba's attacking system, I think Zanaco, the Ligas, which has been there before, it has been like using the two wings. If you had seen the way Zanaco came out to play this game, Ernest and Augustine, they were very good in going forward, exactly as in offensive. But looking the way the top two strikers, how they were standing, I think they were a bit shaky to me. They were not all that good.
So it's now about the individual players. You agree the wing player was going to work in North Africa where you needed a draw. That's what I want to get clear, because I'm also trying to take stock of the 3v2 in central areas. Now, if Nyainde was supposed to drop back, as we are suggesting here, well, he wasn't. So, Wydad were actually overloading in the central areas, 3v2. Only Richard Kasonde and Boyd trying to mark in those areas.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think the when I received the system for Zanaco, I said, whoa. One supporter, I think Harrison Everson, is Tonga, my Mbuya like you. He told me, Coach, is this going to work for us? I said, this is going to work. 4-3-3, 3 in the midfield, but I didn't see Felix dropping down to come and help.
Exactly.
Because Ernest Mbeo is a wide player. So was Auguste. So they needed the system was very, very okay.
But question, let me bring in Kabamba here. You play like that, and the two wide players now.
Yeah.
It's when Zanaco do not have the ball, and Wydad are playing with the ball. The three are playing against the two, and they're winning those battles. Ernest and Augustine will be forced inside. When they're forced inside, the Wydad wingbacks can now go forward. Now, I'm just thinking, what actually happens in the heart of a player that is happening, and maybe the coach is trying to scream. 67,000 people are screaming on top of their voice. How easy is it to get that message through and still have calm-hearted players to actually respond correctly to what the coach is saying?
It takes a good player to understand before the game what the instruction has been given to you. It takes this winger, which is Augustine, and the other guy, to understand the pressure, which, I mean, when you are going to play away, definitely, especially when you are going to play Arabs, you expect such things to happen. What else do you expect? 65,000 capacity.
Packed to the rafters.
This is it. Exactly. I mean, Zite, how do you expect the coach to shout to you to say, come back, go in front? You just have to get it there and then right on the
So
face.
Perhaps a little tale of maturity. That's what the gentleman here are actually making apparent reference to. Let's have a look at Wydad Casablanca. Their forwards were making interesting diagonal runs. Let's take stock of this. The diagonal runs that the Wydad strikers were making. In that, Zio Tembo was actually back. Here is Ben Chati, the man who actually scored. The jersey number 17 in orange on your screen. Now, look at what's happened. When in central midfield, the three win the duel against the two for Wydad Casablanca. They spray a pass into the half space. Now, right there, Dennis, should Zio stick or should he go with the man? Or should Chongochira be actually trying to track the number 9 who has actually made that run there? What is the accountability system in such a case?
You see, I look at that. Even yesterday, I was thinking, I didn't know you made this. The same that I was thinking about. What they were doing exactly as what Zimbabwe were doing to Zambia. The fullback is trying to pull this one, the left fullback or the right fullback, pull him down, and then the number 9 makes a run in the pocket where there's no one. The other one makes a run through. So it was very, very difficult for ZANACO to defend. I even started laughing. I was
so
like,
what actually happens? You've played in big games, Kawamba before, and then Zio is the leader of the pack there, and he's being forced to do that. Okay, it's okay. He must strike, but the cover, who covers? And of course, Numba's got a limitation. He's on this side of the pitch, and there are 67,000 people screaming and shouting.
Well, it depends on which side it's coming from. But looking at the way the Moroccans were coming, I think it depends. As I've said, it depends from which side it's coming. The ball is coming in. If you see it's coming from the left wing, you find that Taonga Wembia is far away from covering the position of
Zio and George.
Zio and George, because of course Zio and George, between the two, one is the man marker and the other one is just a sweeper. To me, that's how I understand the two defensive defenders. One is the man marker and the other one is
a sweeper. Interesting point.
So it depends where the ball is. If Taonga Wemba the ball is coming from the other wing, Taonga Wemba is carried away with this winger, then they won't be that cover. Definitely they won't be that cover. So definitely when the ball is on the other side, Taonga Wemba needs to come in to cover the position of the between the two guys.
Now, interesting point there, Dennis. You really look at that one and say, okay, fine. Zia's got the right to man mark. Let him go hard and try to get the center forward who's actually playing. But before we go any further, gentlemen, it's actually 2v1 because Wydad are actually playing with one number 9 and 2 wing forwards. Now, if he follows and Zio, for example, George Lufia is providing cover for Zio, meaning Taonga has to come in, then Ernest, the winger, has to come in. That's a difficult shift. Very difficult. To get a winger into that defensive line to actually balance the line.
Very difficult indeed, in the sense that I was thinking, I watched the way they were so quick in transition. I looked at them, I watched once, twice, I think about 4 times I watched the game. I wanted to understand how did they beat us, and then I saw what they were doing, what we were not doing. We were very late on the ball. So when the balls they had the ball, transfer, they switch position, they switch to the other side. We were so slow to.
Very late.
Yeah, we were late.
Now, talking about arriving late, was it an experience issue or a tactical issue? Or what do we call it? Or is this the same Arab jinx we always talk about?
For me, no. For me, it's before Kawamba comes in. For me, it's the experience.
What is it for you?
If it says anything.
He was very excited because...
Yeah, he wanted to say something because I was with him. Even the time that I joined ZANACO, they were...
I received him.
Yeah. They were the
senior players.
Senior players.
But this is the same ZANACO that was not done very well. From your generation, you've got nothing to brag about in terms of continental club competition. But here we go. This thing begins to happen. All of a sudden, we're getting excited. Oh, something is about to happen thanks to Numba. But in your time, what in your opinion, was the greatest problem for Zanaco as a club not to actually go further in continental club competition?
Well, as a club, I think they were missing it somehow, in the sense that they never prepared to think, because criticism came from left, right, and center to say, no, these guys, they are not going to qualify, these guys are. So I'm sure they had that jinx to say, no, I think we can't do it, we can't do it.
The point away. Very rare for
Yeah.
from a Zanaco perspective.
Yeah, but we have to give credit to Numba, definitely.
We have to give credit.
we
Let's have a
give-
look
give-
at Zanaco
give
in
credit to
attack.
Numba. On this one, we have to give credit to Numba.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
He's done well.
Mm.
Let's look at Zanaco in attack and begin to look at what was happening. Now, they were forming a 4-2-4 formation in attack, where now, interesting situation is that in such a situation, Dennis, you'd expect a team to actually be centrally compact. But Wydad were prepared to allow Zanaco space in between the channels, and maybe we didn't exploit this so much because maybe we're trying to play the ball to feet as opposed to playing the ball into space. Now, there were several opportunities that were fashioned in that circumstance. When you look at that, what's your interpretation?
Help me on this one. Zanaco is in red, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The problem that we had, I wanted to say I thought it was like this. The problem that we had, last year we had the Isaac Chance in the midfield. But this time, I think that's where the problem is. Isaac and Boyd Musonda. Boyd Musonda is a very young man, full of talent, very talented. I don't know which words to use, but he's not yet there.
Yeah, because I'm actually thinking that situation, it's 1v1. They are marking and they've won most of the duels against your teammates. There's Boyd Msonda now. He has the ball. He's got opportunity to run into space. But does he have the acumen to run with the ball? Or maybe, you're missing someone like Isaac Chancellor who actually knows, let me run diagonal, let me stop, let me wait for a movement, put a pass in between the channels or into space.
Looking at the caliber Boyd Musonda is, Boyd Musonda, I can tell you, as Dennis has put it, Boyd Musonda hasn't yet reached there. Because there are some games which I've watched for Zanaco. You would find that he's with the ball, very much free with no any opponent coming to mark him, coming to give the pass to one there.
Yeah, but he's also tried to shoot. But credit to him. Is that his strength when we expect him to play that role? That's why I asked the question when the show was starting.
You try to shoot. Sometimes the role that Boyd plays, sometimes I play Justin Chong, same role, because I know he's got that powerful shot. You get the ball, you strike that ball. But if I see he can do it from there, or if he does it, it's not coming out 3, 4, 5 times.
But Dennis, on that one, you can't compare Shonga and
yeah,
Boyd.
because Shonga is a dynamic player.
This is it.
Let me tell you,
Boyd is an anchorman.
Boyd is not an anchorman. I tell you this one because Boyd.
You coached him as a young man.
Yeah, as a young man, as
a
young.
boy. Since he's a young man now.
Yeah, Boyd, Justin Shonga, Stewart Chikandio, same. So I know their strength. I know.
So he's not a defensive midfielder by your standard.
On that one, Dennis, I'm arguing. Why I'm arguing? You've coached him when he was young, but as he's growing up,
he's being coached to be a defensive midfielder.
Exactly. Because I'm talking from a former Zanaco perspective,
Yeah.
you know, I know number what can make Boyd to be. You understand? You coached him to be maybe an attacker on that point. But as at now, you find that Boyd, you find him to
He's
be
been transformed.
to
But-
become a defensive midfielder.
Aha.
Anyway, that's
So
my
now-
opinion.
Now, coach, director, wait. Now, Boyd, from the time that I brought him here, you know, Evrena came. Eh? This
Yeah.
will be the best number 8 in Zambia.
That was Rena.
Yeah, Evrena.
You
Yes.
and Rena talking.
No, not me and Rena. He just came. This will be. They called him when he was playing for. He went from. You know, he came from an academy in somewhere somewhere there. Is it Garden? This side. We took him to Young Zanaco. Young Zanaco.
Exactly, yeah.
He went to Nkwazi.
Mm.
Nkwazi, that the same position we tried to push him, because Rena was saying this boy can become like you know, a superstar, like even more than Kala, because he's got those hard drives.
Drives, yes. Yeah.
So now he becomes a number 6. He's trying to shoot from.
Way deeper. But anyway, let's.
Can I come
Yeah.
in before you come in?
Before we actually move
Yes,
to the next
before you
one.
come to the next stage, look at me, myself. The time I used to play for Zanaco, I used to be an anchorman, but I used to score from very far away.
Yes, Vita. This is an.
He was watching. This young man was watching.
I was there.
Talking about young men.
No,
Okay.
but that one, yes, but where you just you watch how do this, but you are not in that zone.
Okay, hold
Anyway.
on.
Anyway.
Zanaco people, hold on. Let's look at Zanaco's shape in transition. Yeah, let's look at Zanaco's shape in transition. Now, this was one thing that worried me, and it's again the story we're talking about: arriving late, fragmentation of the lines, and Wydad Casablanca actually playing in that space. You see in this slide where Al Hidad gets on the ball in between the lines, he's got space. He can actually make a screening run there and adjust himself and try to position himself, and he can probably shoot. Again, accountability issues come in. Remember in the first slide, we're seeing players reacting to runs. Now, again, it's zonal marking and zonal organization. That's a problem. We left too much space from a Zanaco and Zambian perspective in between the lines and allowed these people to actually play. That actually saw them dominate the game a little bit more than necessary.
You remember what Dennis said earlier on, to say Nyayende wasn't really coming back to assist. Yes, these two wings were coming back to assist. Quite all right. But you would find that definitely they were late all the time. The time we were being attacked. So I think that's what I remember what Dennis said.
Yeah,
I
think as well.
But now you are hold on, gentlemen. I agree with that. Like, tactically speaking, the plan is that must arrive early all the time and whatnot. Wydad are playing through the lines. They are not playing long. So it creates a situation where you need to run the full stretch. That you actually almost need to reach your defense line before Wydad lose the ball and there's a turnover.
I think you know, I watched the game and how it went. You know, it's like I said, Zita, you're my kid. At 9 hours you eat porridge, and then at 9 hours you don't come to eat porridge. What happens? Means that porridge goes bad. So if I say 9 hours you come. But what in short, Zanaco did play according to instructions.
Okay, let's have a look. It wasn't all doom and gloom. It was actually a decent shift. And yes, we need to salute Numba for what he's been able to do with this reconstructed team. In months, they've been able to get to the group stage of the Champions League and only miss it by a whisker. Let's look at the short structures for this game for both teams. Let's see the opportunities they actually created. So where the ball is, Ben Chati actually got the goal from where the ball is, the jersey number 17 there. But here we go. Boyd Msonda actually got one shot there, wasn't on target, team effort. But there were several opportunities for Seth Sakala. 1, 2, 3, 1 inside the 18 that he didn't bury. On the edge of the 18 area, Felix Nyainde tried his luck. Enes Mbeo had 2 opportunities on the right side of the pitch, and Augustine Mlenga actually managed to cut in once and put in a shot from there. But yes, it was a difficult day at the office. When you look at the 2 shot structures, Kawamba, should we bow out with pride that this is what happened? Because in their last continental game against El Akli, they only had 1 shot on target, and it was Felix Nyainde. In the similar position, he actually got in this shot in this game.
Well, I think Zanaco, on especially on when they were attacking. I wanted to say when we were attacking. I think I was.
No, it's okay. Once Zanaco is Zanaco.
So when Zanaco were attacking, that's why on the first one I said Nyainde was off position most of the time. We used to have players like I can give you an example. Sofa Chaswe, the late May Forest in peace. You would find that you're having a ball as a midfielder, but the positioning of Sofa Chaswe, you would find that even his runs and the way he would run from the defenders, it will give you that zeal to say, my friend is running, let me pass it to him. But you would find that the way this guy is Nyainde says, yes, he is trying to be there. Maybe he needs an assistant there.
So the checkbook should be out from the banker's perspective.
Definitely. On that one, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I think what Mr. Kawamba is saying here is the what for Zanaco. At Zanaco, we are used to having a top man
who is strength,
9,
who's got the strength,
and then but look at this, there's only Said
who is small,
very small. I played for Zanaco.
He's gotten goals.
I played for Zanaco. Yeah, goals you can be getting. We had Winston Kalengo.
But depending on the tactic,
you don't
need to be big.
Exactly.
Young men.
Exactly.
Hey, coach. Young men, we had Winston Kalengo. We had who else?
Makundika.
No, I think Makundika came after that. We had Winston. We had the Cosmas
Banda, yes.
Big man, and then a small man coming to
cushion
support
there.
him. Yeah. That's
but again, it comes back to the approach. That the approach, Seth, has been very successful. Enes Mbewe, the little man wide, has been very successful. Is that I'm sure Numba actually wants mobile strikers.
That one for me, that one I don't disagree. If you remember, even the last time I told you, Numba is very attack minded,
very offensive.
But those days we used to have maybe Kelvin Kaindo this side, would have
Numba the other side,
the small man there, and one big man.
But this season, ZANACO'S by far more successful season. Didn't have the big man you're talking about. But it's about the tactics again. Numba has managed to do this without the big man, without the little man. But he's gone for mobile.
This year they haven't been successful.
Again, Zite, if you are to look the caliber of players as of now in the league, we don't have big players.
But that's why I'm about big. Does Mulao become anything?
Yeah, near big. Mulao is coming in to be near big compared to those who were there before, but it doesn't have that quality. Not that quality which Zanaco needs.
But again, if you talk about a big man, forget about Augustine putting in a cross from the line. You probably cut in, try to shoot. Probably that wasn't happening during your time. How many times did Numba himself, as a player, cut in and try to shoot? How many times? So now it comes back to tactics. Wing play, or we also play through the middle, because that's has been your DNA at Zanaco. Before we pay bills,
DNA Zanaco, it's always wing play.
wing play.
Number, you give him this, you remember coach.
Legacy of Zanaco,
It's wing
we
play.
always use wing play.
Wing play.
Wing play
Yeah.
will win you the game, and it makes life easy for the coach.
Okay.
Especially when you have wingers who've got the pace.
Speed. Like
Okay.
Numba and Kelvin.
You can see as Sakala now. Is it Sakala again?
Yeah,
no,
say-
no,
No, the winger.
Augustine.
Augustine and
Augustine and this one.
The same.
This small boy.
Ernest.
Oteza.
Exactly.
Ernest, yeah.
So we have the quality that
pace.
who can run.
That pace is.
No wonder you are seeing goals say Sakala is scoring.
So just before we pay bills, would you like to see if that's the way you are suggesting Numba should play? Augustine can't play that role then. He needs to come into the central area and maybe allow Boyd to be the central defensive midfielder in one way. Yes or no?
I would agree, I wouldn't agree.
Let's pay bills. We'll be back with more on Soccer Chat Match Park, Zambia's premier analysis show.